Ready? Got anything?
Everybody ready?
Yep.
So can we talk about Representative Christensen's bill?
I hate to disappoint Ben, but I think Representative Christensen put out a statement. The challenge with trying to jump into a bill in its earliest stage is that it may be amended. It'll go through some. I mean, how a bill becomes a law always has a exciting adventure in front of it. And so to comment on anything specific to that bill at this time would probably be premature.
Are there other combined bills that you expect to come out of the House, or is this going to be the bill that the House works on as you go forward on this issue?
Truthfully, I am not aware of any other House bill that's out there. But that's not to say that there isn't.
Yesterday, the majority leader said that bill wasn't quite ready and used for not next week, but the week after. Is that still what you're looking at?
I think what I said yesterday is we were not prepared or not desiring to take the anti-discrimination religious liberty bill to caucus yet. And then next week, we're going to do Medicaid, so the earliest it would happen would be the following week.
The governor today said that he wants to see the LGBT community specifically referred to in any legislation. He said them understand that they are part of any anti-discrimination effort in the state. That's not in the bill currently. Is that something that's important to you, Speaker?
I think the sentiment expressed by Representative Christensen about an even hand and a way of treating everyone, all individuals, in a respectful and in a fair way is what we want. The wordsmithing, those are the specifics that will happen. And I at the end of the day, I can just tell you what we'd like. We like something that reflects for me, I'll speak just for myself, the sentiments from the church about how we want to treat everyone with respect, whether it be LGBT community, whether it's someone who expresses their faith. We want there to be an even and balanced approach to allow all those beliefs or practices to be respected and not discriminated against.
And you believe this is an even and balanced approach? Representative Christensen.
I believe that we have a bill that's beginning a process that's seeking to do that. That's why I hesitate to comment any more than what Representative Christensen has said about the bill.
But getting back to what you just said, an even and balanced approach, is it even and balanced if you don't mention a major segment of the community that feels they're being
I'm
discriminated
going to
against?
frustrate you guys today because I'm
Yes,
telling
you
you,
are.
this is the problem. I don't want to speak to the bill specifically.
Well,
and I
not
don't
to the
think
bill
that
specifically, but to the need to include language that specifically refers to
Yeah,
a specific segment of the
I
community.
think that this is a challenge with this issue. It brings with it a lot of commentary, a lot of opinions, and a lot of emotion. And that is what's going to need to be explored, debated, and sorted out and through the rest of the session. So I'm not going to stick a stake in the ground and point to specifics that are in or not in a bill right now because I just think it's too premature.
Still liking the idea that the House Majority Leader yesterday said that, he certainly was looking at the ideas of one bill, one comprehensive bill that wraps up both issues.
Ideally, I think the majority leader is absolutely right, but here's what you have to the question of what other bills are out there. We don't control the agendas or the bill files of our colleagues, and so we'll see what's out there. We'll be respectful of every member, and I think the Senate will take the same approach and all the hard work that goes into bills, and we'll just see. We'll see what happens here. We don't have any wands to wave in this office. So.
In terms of the rules process, so you kind of do have a wand to wave. I mean, is it going to go through the normal rules process? Representative Christensen bill, you're going to let it go through rules, get on the way through the committee, just like any other bill, or is there a plan to kind of hold it back until some of these negotiations come to fruition and then maybe send it out and only have one hearing on this issue rather than 2 or 3 or 8?
It's a good question, Robert. What I'd ideally like and what we'll get, I don't know that they're exactly the same. I think that the Rules Committee has looked, if they thought they had bills and topics of the environment or clean air or water, different topics of policy, that if they thought there were bills that were coming that were going to address the same thing, they wanted those bills to kind of all accumulate in the rules possession and then send them out around the same time. That's probably a smart way to look at this issue as well. But I have not represented to any colleague of mine that their bill would be held or stopped. And if we did make that decision, it would be one of just efficiency and making sure that all the viewpoints are being considered.
You said what you'd like ideally and what you'll get, maybe two different things. What would you like ideally?
Well, I think
This.
personally, I want a bill that I don't find anti-discrimination and religious liberty to be opposed to each other or in different concepts. I think we're talking about the same thing in terms of how we respect people's faith, how we respect people's lifestyles. I think it's, I'd like to see a bill that addresses those topics together, because I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think that it's just, it would be better fit in one bill. That's what I would like, but we'll see what we get.
I asked the governor this question. Now that you're the speaker, you can perform marriages. Would you marry a gay couple?
It's actually news to me. I can perform a marriage. I wasn't aware of such authority that I have. You know what? I don't have a problem with it. I would, if I was asked, I probably could act within the responsibility I have without pause. That's me speaking. Hey, you two can start answering. Hey, look at these guys over here. They're just,
They can't marry. They can't do.
can't they?
Well,
They can't
actually,
do it
you
either?
can get married in this state.
They
can, okay.
They can't perform a marriage.
I had-
Never
I
answered
didn't-
any Lisa's
By the way,
questions again.
that joke didn't go over well over here.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see any laughter going on over here.
I saw some twitching. Sorry about that.
Gas tax, it's going before a committee this afternoon. Any thoughts on whether it should be up or not?
In the House or the Senate? Are you talking the,
I think it's the Senate.
would it be Van Tassel's
Senate,
tax?
yes.
Yes.
Tassels.
Yeah, but the 10-cent increase.
Obviously, if it passes out of there, it comes over here.
Ben, thank you for asking a different topic. I love the question.
I am
Embrace the
quite
question. I would
frankly,
like 10
yeah.
more follow-up questions on this topic. The gas tax is a hot issue this year. It's one that I think we do here in the House need to debate. I think the question is, it's raise the tax, a unit tax. Right now, the gas tax is a unit tax of 24.5 cents per gallon. The reason why many are making the argument, I think that bill, if you listen to the deliberation, they'll say that doing nothing means that motor fuel tax loses buying power every year, becomes weaker and weaker and does less. And there needs to be a way to address that. One approach to addressing that is to raise it. Very simply, raise it 5 cents, raise it 10 cents, raise that unit tax. There's another conversation going on here at the Capitol about whether the formula for how we assess a motor fuel tax, whether that's the right way to do it. And so I think you'll see some other conversations about a percentage of the fuel purchased, a value-added tax. That has, there's conversations attached to that and how you would structure something like that. But Ben, I think the question that is being addressed in that transportation bill is a critical one that we have to pay attention to. How do we allow that motor fuel tax to be relevant again? It is not paying the bills. It is it's putting further stress on our state budget and our indebtedness as a state because it's simply not working. So we've got to address it one way or the other.
Should it be indexed? I mean, I guess if you go to the sales tax, okay, you don't need to index it because then the price fluctuates. But if you don't go to the sales tax, should it be indexed so you get the increases of the inflation?
You guys want to answer it? Do you want me to?
You're on a roll.
Oh, okay. I think a percentage of the fuel purchased is a way that if you're going to go to a unit tax, then I think, and you want that thing to not lose buying power over time and become less and less relevant like it is now, then you have to have the political will to come back into a general session and raise it every so many years. I think since 1997, that tax hasn't been touched, and I think we're sensing a trend with the unit tax. So I think by putting a percentage to that, and you can put floors in terms of volatility to protect any further, downswing of the price of a gallon of gas, or the volatility of it going up. You can put some ceilings on that formula as well to protect against it becoming too prohibitively expensive. But I think something that rides with the price on the long view of how much gasoline is or motor fuel is when you purchase it, more sustainable and more dependable revenue.
Are we gonna see a bill come out of the House soon? Senator Anderson was working on what you've been talking about, the sales tax, if you will.
Yeah, well, it's a value-added tax to gasoline. I don't think I'm speaking out of school if I say that, yeah, our transportation chair, Representative Anderson, is working on a bill. And I think you will see a bill from Representative Anderson that probably pursues what I'm describing.
And is that something that the House Republicans would take a caucus position on, do you think, kind of?
At some point, I think our caucus is aware of the concept discussed on a couple of occasions. But there isn't a caucus position on that as of yet. But it'll go through the same process that Senator Van Tassel's bill is going through in terms of its incubation period, what it does, what concepts are going to resonate with members. So no caucus position yet, but I think further discussion, you can expect further discussion on the transportation funding front.
There was some suggestion between those two things, some kind of a amalgamation of as you're calling it, a value-added tax and a straight-up increase. Is there still time in the session to come up with something like that?
There's time. The question you need to ask, it's a trade-off. If you blend a value-added tax, a percentage, with a unit tax, the best argument for that is to protect against volatility, because the unit tax is stable. It might be stably going down in terms of its value, but it's pretty stable. That's what a unit tax brings you, is that kind of stability. So if you were to blend the two, if you want a percentage to kind of grow and bring more revenue as people purchase gasoline and drive more vehicle miles, it won't grow as fast if you have the unit tax portion there, but it will protect against volatility. So it's a question, Lisa, of what do you worry more about? The revenue that it does or doesn't provide, or the volatility that could result?
Okay, last question.
Anything out of joint leadership today? I mean, did you guys make any more headway on Medicaid in particular?
We did not discuss Medicaid. Much of joint leadership was talking about scheduling for the appropriation process and making plans for that.
Are we gonna get Tuesday off? We got a basketball game. I don't know if you guys have an executive appropriations meeting scheduled that night.
We do.
You wrap that up early so I can get up there and stretch.
All right, thanks guys.
How can you play when you coach? Aren't you like the Bobby Knight?
Like I'm Dean Smith or something over here, Bobby Knight.